Hello, I'm Mbweha. You can call me Ben of Team Relentless, and this is the Scrapyard, where you can come to learn how to make something for Star Wars Legion. Today we're going to be talking about how to make these hedge pieces for terrain using paint, cardboard from the inserts that are in the Star Wars Legion units, and 3M heavy-duty stripping pads, which you can find at Home Depot or Lowe's or places like that. I use the big thick ones that have 2 per bundle, which one of these, which has 2 in it, can make 2 tall and 2 short hedges from it. So I got 3 to make all of these for a feed table. Let's get started on making these right now. Oh, and before we get going, I do want to say that I did get most of the inspiration for how to do this from a guy named Sad C the Clown, and I'll link his video of how he did it in the description as well. Let's get going.
As the video gets going here, I want to mention 2 things. One of which is that a good portion of my video files got corrupted from this. So you're gonna, the format is not ideal. It's a great thing to say at the beginning of a video, right? This format is not what I intended. It works out. You're going to learn how to make these hedges. They're great hedges. The other thing I wanted to say was these hedges have become my favorite terrain piece in Legion. I love them. And so stick with it. See how it all comes together. You're going to see me narrating in a bit, and you're going to miss out on some of what got made because the file got partially corrupted. So I'm going to be explaining exactly what I'm doing here in one moment.
After I cut these down to size so that, you know, some would be shorter than a silhouette and some would be taller than a silhouette, all I did was trace the base of one on some of my extra cardboard here from the inserts that come with all the units, and then cut them down to size. A lot of people use popsicle sticks for the same thing. That'd be fine, or like tongue depressors. But my goal is to use things on hand, because scrappers, you get it. You guys are clever people. And then I put hot glue onto the side here and then attached it. And then after it dried a little bit, I took the cheapest pair of scissors that I have, old kitchen shears that I just use for cutting all sorts of stuff now. And I basically cut off all the sharp edges, the square edges, to make it a little bit more roundy, as DJ would say. And now it's in this stage. It's ready for the next step. We've got some hedgy looking hedges.
So to recap, you trim them such that you make some that are going to be taller than a silhouette, and you trim them so that some are going to be shorter than a silhouette. You can take those big 3M pads and just basically cut them 1/3 of the way down, and then it gives you 2 perfect sizes to do that. Then make sure you use cheap scissors, and it makes a pretty big mess and you're cutting through metal. So I do wish that I would have put some plastic down underneath my table. I don't think I damaged my table, but I did risk it a little bit. And then after you get it glued with hot glue is what you want to do here, because it kind of gets big and expands. Hot glue to get it to stick onto the tongue depressor or the piece of cardboard. Then it's time to just spray it black. Make sure you spray it pretty heavily and make sure you get it on the inside as well. And then you want to mix your base layer of green. The base layer of green that I wanted to make used equal parts yellow and blue. And then I put in some dark brown as well to just kind of give it sort of this muddy green effect. My goal being that it would look like an arborvitae or some sort of a hedgerow for a Naboo table. But that initial dark green, you could stop after a single layer. It looks okay, and that's what you can see me doing here. But I am going to end up putting on 4 layers of paint, and this first one takes the longest as you get it all over the place. It also, I discovered so you use a big brush, you can get a lot of paint on it quickly, and you can kind of be sloppy. It's not, it's a really, really coarse surface, so it's going to chew up your brush, whatever brush you use. So just use a cheap brush that you don't mind getting destroyed. It also flicked paint everywhere. So I definitely got paint on my table, it came off, but I had to take it off the table. That was not ideal. So I do highly recommend, when you're dry brushing on something really rough like this, don't make the mistake I made. You want to put down more than just, magazines, and more than just your self-healing mat. If you have one of those like I've got, you want to put down some plastic. I would recommend that. I also wondered after the fact if I should have been wearing a mask when I was cutting the sponges, since they're like a wool metal material, I suppose there's a small chance that I put some small flecks of that into the air and may have inhaled them. So probably mask up for this when you're doing the cutting. And then the painting, of course, if you're airbrushing, you need to use a mask is a good idea. But if you're doing what I'm doing here, you don't need a mask for this part. But your table will need some protection. All right, for the second layer, I go in, again, equal parts of yellow and blue to make my green. And then I did a light brown in it. So just a slightly brighter green, and I hit all the surfaces again with it. So I'm hitting everything. And then the thing that is going to make it pop is making a yellower green and stop adding the brown. So now I make it really bringing out more yellows and just go across the top. And for the short ones, I just do the top. For the tall ones, I do the top and a little bit of the sides. And then make it even more yellow for that final fourth coat. And it will really, really pop and come to life. And it comes together really nice. This really is one of my favorite terrain pieces that I use now.
And that's how you make these hedges for Star Wars Legion, or any other tabletop game, I suppose. I hope that you found this video helpful and inspirational. Feel free to modify it to your heart's content. The idea is that you can make terrain on the cheap that makes your table look good and is highly functional. I'm Mbweha. You can call me Ben of Team Relentless, and this has been The Scrapyard.